now is more important than ever to really get the information out to the members about what has been proposed so you don't have all the rumors.
The facts, dates, and events presented in this video are from the members' best recollection and may not be fully accurate. This video is intended for entertainment purposes only. Always consult with your local union about your rights and duties at your workplace. The opinions shared on this video are our own and do not necessarily represent my employer's positions, strategies, or opinions. All views shared are protected under the National Labor Relations Act.
What is going on, everybody? So today I have Greg Kerwood out of Local 25 in Boston and Richard Hooker, Principal Officer at 63 in Philadelphia. And this is going to be a contract update. You know, we have 29 days left, less than a month on this current contract. And there's so many questions people have, and we're here to answer them. So let's get right into it. Greg, we've had a hell of a week as far as the contract updates. Can you just briefly go over what's been done in the past week?
Well, there was a deadline that was put forth after the company put in their garbage offer. They were given till Friday to come up with something better or give us a last best and final. They chose to try to give us something allegedly better. The result of that was that our bargaining committee agreed to go back to the table until the 5th. And the company committed to getting the contract done by then, so we would have time to vote on it and, in theory, ratify it before the deadline of August 1st. The big news, obviously, out this evening when we're filming is that 22-4 has been eliminated. All 22-4 drivers will become RPCDs with all full rights and privileges that come with that. The schedules, there will be Tuesday through Saturday schedules and Monday through Friday schedules. How that is going to be determined remains to be seen. Another important piece of that is that no one will be forced in on their day off, which is a huge, huge, huge victory, given what our members have gone through, through the pandemic and beyond. And then the other major victory, obviously, is MLK being a paid holiday. That was one of two that were part of our demands. And we'll see if the other one comes through. But yeah, huge, huge wins, moving in the right direction. The deadline is still Wednesday. There's still a lot of stuff on the table. As nice as it is to see these big wins, we still have wages to deal with. We still have PBDs to deal with. We still have other issues that we haven't addressed yet. So we will see if the company is serious about getting it done, or if not, they'll have to deal with the consequences.
Now let's get into the strike pay. I'm going to throw this to you, Rich. Strike pay, how does it work?
Strike pay is 5 times your dues rate per week. So let's say you pay $100 in dues per month. Times that by 5, you'll be getting a check for $500 a week. Some locals have another strike fund or a local strike fund, and that could be whatever the bylaws say, whatever the executive board votes on. And so you would have to check your with your local to see if there is a local strike fund. We have one here in 623. It's almost, I believe it's close to $1 million. When we first got in office, it was about 400,000. But we wanted to make sure that we had more money because we knew this day was going to come with this 2023 contract. So we wanted to be prepared. So we increased it to about $1 million. So whatever your local has, get with them to see if they have one. But for as the national strike pay, it is 5 times your dues rate per week. So whatever your dues rate is that you pay a month, times that by 5, and that's what you're going to get per week.
All right. And so the other question is, with these right to work states where some people unfortunately are not a part of the union, do they get their strike pay, Greg?
They do not get their strike pay because they are not members of the Teamsters Union, and they will not be getting strike pay. The strike fund is funded It has been for 2 decades now by part of our dues money. And so you're not paying any dues in. You're clearly not going to be able to take any money out as part of the strike benefit. I just wanted to point out too, with what Rich just talked about, because there are a lot of folks out there that deal with this. If you are paying weekly dues, which a lot of our locals do, in order to calculate your monthly dues, you have to multiply that by 4. Then you can multiply by 5 to get your strike pay. I know there's a lot of members out there that I've spoken to that pay dues weekly and are confused by how the strike pay works.
Okay, and then the other question I have is that we're talking about non-dues paying members, but then let's lead that into scabs, people that cross the picket line. What exactly happens to them if you cross?
Well, you have the option that the local itself can fine you. They can pull you before the board and pull your card if they choose. In addition to that, you scab once, you're a scab for life. So you're going to have to deal with the repercussions of that with your coworkers. I think anybody who was around in '97 will tell you that they still remember every person that crossed that line. I have had members that I met in person point out to me the scabs from '97, and they still do not speak to them. 25 years later. So it's not a great decision. It's been pointed out before. I think we have that there won't be any work for you to do if you do cross that line anyway. So you are basically putting yourself in a horrible position for absolutely no reward. It's completely not worth it. Stand with your brothers and sisters, and don't make that bad decision.
Greg's 100% right. I've been to buildings, and they will point out the '97 scabs every time you could walk in there. So you definitely put a mark on your back for the rest of your life. Now we're gonna be talking about. We have a lot of members out there right now. They're all excited for what's to come, but we're a little bit worried about them crossing the line as far as with printing out maybe strike materials or related to strike materials. Rich, you want to touch on this for a bit?
So you just have to be careful on what you put in the flyer. You don't want to get any misinformation when it comes to striking, because it is a very serious situation. So you want to make sure that whatever information you put on a strike flyer is accurate. We have them out here at 623. It talks about strike pay. It talks about your do's and don'ts. It talks about what you can do to make sure that everybody's together, practicing the solidarity. You just want to make sure that whatever you print out, you do want to get the company's attention, because what we do here is big, bold letter, strike, that catches everybody's attention. But you want to make sure once they're reading it, everything is right, because you don't want to give any misinformation with a strike, because that could get you in a lot of trouble. And we don't want any trouble right now. We are close to the finish line, and we don't want anything to break down where it causes more problems than it needs to be. So just be careful what you put on. If you have any questions, get with your local. Get with your local before you put stuff out, because again, you do not want to put out any misinformation when it comes to striking.
So like when you do the practice picketing, you got to watch where you're stepping. You can step in certain areas, you can't step in other areas. Like, you just can't go rogue. All right. So we appreciate all the hardcore union members out there, but you got to be careful with a lot of this stuff, because you can get yourself in a whole slew of issues legally if you don't do things right. So always get with your local before you start doing stuff like that. Now we're going to be talking about, there's a lot of myths and rumors going on right now, especially on Facebook and whatever else. And all three of us have been doing this for a long time, but no person have I ever seen so many bad myths and rumors made of than our friend Richard Hooker here. Because if you believed everything you read online, he's apparently a thief. But Rich, I mean, what do you have to say about all that?
Listen, rumors, man, they sell tickets, right? Negativity sells tickets. And so one thing I learned in this business is that, nobody really likes a clean cut, honest, integrity, good character, good morals. They love the drama. I mean, we see it all the time. But what we've heard since this whole campaign has started is that the contract is already done. This is just smoke and mirrors. A whole lot of things have been said and done. And I think that's why now is more important than ever to really get the information out to the members about what has been proposed so you don't have all the rumors. And that's really where I think we could do a better job at, because we're right at the finish line and we don't need to start crumbling. Today was a good day as far as 224 has been eliminated, MLK, no forced overtime. And I think that is a positive step in the right direction, but we need to see that more often. We need to know what the wages look like. Because as a principal officer, I've had this happen to me numerous times. People come and talk to me, Hooker, what are the wages? Hooker, is the progression still going to be 4 years? Is it going to be dropped down to 2 years? What about the pension? And I've had to tell them, I don't know. Well, Hooker, what do you mean you don't know? You're the principal officer. What do you mean you don't know? And that's when the rumors come in. That's where the misinformation comes in. That's where the disconnect comes in. Then that solidarity starts to break apart because this person says this, that person says that. Now we're all over the place again. And guess who wins? The company. So I hope that moving forward, we continue to get this information. So when all these other officers are at the mic at their meetings, they can give their members the accurate information, because I don't know it's not going to work anymore. It may have worked about 4 or 5 months ago, but with 29 days left, nobody wants to hear I don't know, or I can't give it information because I got an NDA. That's not going to work. We need to know what's going on now, because it's more critical than ever now, so we can stop the rumors, stop the misinformation, and let's get the contract that our members demand and deserve. So we got to cut these rumors out, but we need the information so they won't be so quick to spread the rumors.
So every week when I bring you guys on, I always ask the same question. Greg, I'm going to throw it to you. Where's the strikeometer at right now?
The strikeometer is still pretty high. I'm not sure it's high as it was, maybe 3 or 4 days ago, but it's still pretty high. It's going to remain high for the simple reason that we have to keep the pressure on. The negotiating committee did a great job getting the big wins that we got that were announced today, but we still have a lot of stuff on the table. They're going to continue to push on their end. The deadline is now the 5th, which is Wednesday. And so we have to keep pushing on our end. I think, it's my opinion, but I think that the strong showing we've had over the last few days with people practice picketing and getting out there, and the solidarity that we've seen had a major impact on getting the wins that we got today. And we can't let up on that. That's our job as members, as stewards, as active leaders, to get people out there, to keep them engaged, to make them understand that we need to push through the finish line, that we're not going to run up to the tape and stop, that we need to go straight on through and make sure that we get everything that we deserve, that we don't leave anything on the table, and that we've done everything we can do to get the best contract ever.
All right, Rich, your turn. Do you think we're going to hit the streets come August 1st? What do you think?
Well, you guys know me, man. I've been saying it for the last few shows. See them on the side of the road, man. I'm not going to take nothing for granted. We still got to keep the pedal to the metal. We still got to keep grinding, man. We actually talking about here in 623 having a Madden tournament, Call of Duty tournament on the strike line, man. We will have a good time because our members have done something that nobody else could do for this company, and we need to be rewarded for that. We made them the most profitable they ever been. Pandemic profits. Something that Juan Campos said in one of his things, he said, while the company was making pandemic profits, the members received pandemic pain. And so there's a cost to that. And I think August 1st is that cost. And, get you some shoes, some good walking shoes. Make sure you got plenty of ice and some water out there on the strike line. And let's get ready to fight.
All right. Now, if you haven't done so already, add Greg Kerwood's, sorry, I label it Greg Kerwood's, the UPS contract group on Facebook, and also 623 Lives Matter, Facebook, Instagram, all social medias. So shout outs, Greg. Who are you going to shout out?
Tonight, I am going to shout out all my members at the Somerville facility. They came out in force on Wednesday. We did our practice picketing. Friday, sorry. We rattled the windows. You could hear us all through the building. We let management know. It was great to see everybody coming together, and it's really what it's all about, and it's what is going to get it done. So shout out to all of them, the part-timers who came out. Everybody had red shirts on the part-time shift, which was fantastic. The building is tighter than it's ever been, and that's really, as a steward, you can't ask for any more than that. So big shout out to all my members at the Somerville building.
Richard, shout outs. Who are you going to shout out?
I want to give a shout out to our labor coalition that we have here in Philadelphia, man. We're getting ready to do these labor canvases on July the 8th to really put the pressure on the company and really get the public involved in this fight as well. We're going to be doing some door knocking, some canvassing all throughout the city, just so the city can know that what our UPS members have been going through. Shout out to my brother Hassan, who has been doing this documentary on our 623 members here, man. It's been really shedding a light in places where people didn't even know what were happening. Shout out to that brother there, man. I mean, these stories are just mind-boggling, man. And when you hear them, it's like, wow, how can UPS be this hostile, this dirty, this evil, this vile? That's who they are. So shout out to all those people I just called out.
And I'll put a link to that documentary down below in the description. And my shout out is going to go to the guy who left the comment. This is a really weird time to be a new employee at UPS. So I thought that was pretty funny. Anyways, all right. Appreciate you guys. Love you. And I'll see you next week. Thank you.